there are people that ultimately get the records to stream. A lot of these distribution companies are just the middle salespeople. If you get paid in India 1 billion times, the pay is going to be abysmal compared to being played 1 billion times in America. Do you really think that some of these platforms that say that they don't take any money, don't take any money?
I work with a lot of different clients who have distributed their music through a lot of different companies. And so I wanted to get an independent, non-biased opinion from my brother, my friend, and my business partner on a brand new project, Ryan Glover, who runs RGM Distribution. I wanted to ask him about the merits, the disadvantages, the pros and the cons of a self-service platform versus an independent distributor versus a major label, and understand what a distributor actually does for the artists they work with. He shared some stories about clients he and I have both worked with, and if you haven't noticed, my voice is a little bit raspy. I was at the PRS and PPL building yesterday in Leicester giving a speech, and my voice is just mashed up. So I apologize in advance, but I know this is going to be a knowledge-filled conversation that you're going to enjoy. And without any further ado, let's dive into this chat with Ryan, all about distribution. I want to unpack with you, Ryan, what distribution actually is and what an artist gets in return for signing up to different companies, whether they should sign up and give away equity, whether they should sign up and give away a fee, whether they should take in advance, and so much more. I've worked for companies like AWOL and Believe or Orchard. I've been on the campaign teams for some of them. And then I've been part of companies where I've worked for TuneCore for a while. I've had friends at Ditto. I've had a long-standing relationship with DistroKid myself. And I see both sides of the fence. And where do you think an artist should start? And where should they kind of elevate themselves to? Do they begin with one of those self-service platforms or an independent distributor like yourself, and then they look to make the jump? What's that process like in your mind?
You know, I personally believe that all business is the same, right? So let me just put this in perspective, right? If you're a farm shop, for example, you don't just go and get customers just like that.
Mm.
You've got to build the shop. You're going to be in the red for probably about 4 years. You know, you're not going to make a profit for about 4 years, right? So I just feel that all business is the same. And for an artist who is just starting their music career, their best bet is to go to, I would say, a DistroKid. And maybe I shouldn't be saying that because I want to know my own distribution company. But I think all these different distribution companies have different thresholds.
Yes.
And there's no point you coming to AWOL, for example. Prime example. You have to apply still, I think, to be a part of AWOL, or you did have to 2 years ago. So Dave down the street making music in his room, he's going to apply for AWOL and he won't get through because they have a threshold. But someone like TuneCore, you can go there, you can pay your yearly subscription and upload your music. But the services that you get will be needing nothing.
Yep, I'm fully aligned with what you're saying. If you want a self-service platform, that's exactly what you get. You get a DIY process. You upload your music into a system. It takes however long it takes to approve, and it goes live depending on what you pay.
Yep. And
again, personally, I understand and like the model of paying to distribute. Because in my mind, if you pay, I think it's £50 for the most basic package, then there's a series of bolt-ons. So if you want to protect your music and copyright, it's extra. If you want to upload music videos, it's extra. So I roughly encapsulate that to around £200 a year, roughly, to distribute unlimited number of singles. That these other distribution companies that take a percentage of earnings, I understand that's a more incentivized model. You basically upload your music for free. But what if your annual number extremes exceeds 1 million? So therefore, 15% of 1 million is a lot more than your £200 to upload for a year.
I understand. Yeah.
And so if you think you're if you're betting on yourself and you're wanting to be successful, I actually think a capped payment is better than an equity-based payment because they're not going to make more.
Dirt. You guys want the dirt. I know podcasts like enjoy the dirt.
Yeah, hit me with the realness, bro. Hit me with the realness.
Like you really think? Do you really think that some of these platforms that say that they don't take any money, don't take any money?
Yeah, how do they do that?
Like, come on. I don't know, you, the audience, I don't know if you know the actual kind of structure of distribution, right? You have companies that ultimately get the music to DSP. Okay? So a Ditto, for example, from what I know, from what I've been told, a Ditto, for example, and this information was told to me probably about 3 years ago, is not direct. It's not direct to DSP.
There's a middle person, okay. And what does that mean? Yeah.
And 3-4 years ago, when I got told the information, that middle person was an aggregator called Fuga.
Yep.
Okay. Fuga take a percentage before that money's even seized.
Yep.
Okay. So this is dirt. I could get backlash. But this is the model. There are people that ultimately get the records to stream. A lot of these distribution companies are just the middle sales people.
Very true. They're the front end dashboard where you upload your music into. That is that file then passed over to the actual proprietary tech platform, and they put it on with the metadata that you've input. Is that how the process works, to my understanding?
Yeah.
And so what about the payments back from Spotify? I've heard, depending on what pricing plan you are on Spotify, a different royalty rate gets paid.
Yeah.
If you're on a family plan, if you're on a solo plan, if you're on a free plan, if you've gone through Carphone and Warehouse, different countries, or the royalty rates differ. It's not a flat 0.006 for everything. How does that work?
But it's all different. Like all the money is completely different from if you get paid in India. If you get paid in India a billion times, the pay is going to be abysmal compared to being played a billion times in America. All right, and I also keep this in mind. Where do all these DSPs live? Obviously, Spotify India comes to Spotify India, and then the money gets paid in the Indian's currency to the base of Sweden, where Spotify is based, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep.
So then it gets paid into euros, and then let's say that your distribution company is paying out in US dollars, then it gets paid to the distribution company in the US dollars. So there's
God,
there's already money being lost on transfer, on conversion.
just the currency fees and the cost of changing currency.
So I think number one, people don't put that into perspective, and then also, let's get 1 million streams, shall we? But it depends on where those 1 million streams come from. If it comes from Europe, you're going to get paid massive load of money, which is great. America, load of money. But if you're getting it all from just a third world country, then you're going to see you'll see something, but not much. You know what I mean?
Since we're talking about DistroKid, I want to give them a huge amount of love here on the All About Helping Musicians podcast as being a friend and a partner for the last couple of years. And DistroKid let you keep 100% of the royalties you make. There's an incredible DistroKid app so you can track your music career on the go from the comfort of your mobile phone, cashing out your royalties, checking your stats daily and in real time, and even depositing your wallet into your bank as you get paid. And I've had so many artists move from rival distribution companies who messed up their releases over to the DistroKid family. If you want to try DistroKid, make sure you sign up using my link and get a 7% discount, and that is distrokid.com/VIP/all-about-helping. This will be one of the smartest decisions you make as an artist joining the DistroKid family. I think that's especially true in payment of ads, when people always try and just ramp up the ads to the cheapest territories, not knowing that again, I don't want to get into that because it's a whole other conversation, but the money you spend on ads will never be the return you make.
Yep.
So in your mind, when is that right time to jump from a self-service platform to a sole distributor like RGM or to one of the major players? Is there a number? Like I've often heard when I was on the AWOL campaigns, you don't even get an account manager until you're on 100,000 monthly streams. Is there a metric in your mind that there's a floor, and once you're beyond that, it makes sense?
I think I was going to answer that question and say that there isn't a number for me in a way, but I'll get to that. But I think, if there is a number, the number I like to, funny enough, see is a number around about 69, to be quite actually 69,000, because I've seen people earn from our platform a significantly nice amount of money on 69,000 monthly listeners, and that's Spotify.
Okay, and there are other more premium payouts from the likes of Apple Music and Tidal and others, but the listenership isn't there to make it make sense, right?
Yeah, absolutely, totally. So, but personally for me, and as you know, we've worked before on different things and continue to now. It's the passion for the artist.
Yes.
If someone comes to me and says, Ryan, I've released a couple of records from DistroKid, it's great, but I feel that you can take my career to the next level. I don't like that type of message, but it'd be like, okay, cool, let me check you out. And if I resonate with the music, then I'm going to take you on and try and guide you. But that's where the whole misconception conversation comes in. The amount of messages I get from artists saying, Ryan, I'd love to sign up to your one-stop service. I've got something called the one-stop service, which is, I'd say for, people are going to turn around on the podcast and go, well, what? I would never pay that. It's like, and to be honest, it's quite cheap compared to what I know of people doing in America. But it's like £72 a month, and people get to distribute through RGM, and they get to speak to me directly on a call like this whenever they want to. They get my business number. And we do everything that we can in our power with what we've been given from the artist to be able to push them forward. But if you're an artist that comes to us and, let's say that I believe in what you do, but then you come over to us and you don't do the work, or you don't take advice, then we can't push you to them. We can't push you.
Yeah, facts.
But I think maybe the right point for an artist to come over to something like that would be when they know they want to take this seriously.
Yep.
And the cliche thing is when they know they want to invest in themselves.
Yep. I think what's crazy is you and I worked on a campaign with an artist called Izzy T before we even knew we were working on the same campaign. Shout out to Izzy. Got a lot of love for her and my business coach, Vincent. And I believe, and this is, I want to pick my words carefully, the ancillary services that you offer, such as playlist pitching, such as publishing rights administration, such as other things that a self-service platform doesn't offer, that's when I think your moment shines. Because artists want to work with you, but they mustn't just assume, I'm with Ryan, I will get on editorial playlist.
But I had this the other day.
Hit me.
Okay?
Hit me.
I had this the other day, and it's, I'm not going to lie, it's taken me, I've been in the music business like 20 years, and it's taken me, 3 to 4 years for my distribution company to actually see some revenue. Like good revenue now. And it's got to the point now where I don't want to waste people's time. Okay? So, bless this girl, won't name her, obviously, but she messaged me and was like, I see what you've done for other artists that I know. I'd love to work with you. I was like, great, cool, man. Got the one-stop service, 72 a month. He's like, oh, great. Can I pay for 2 months?
Yeah. Can I try out? Yeah.
Can I try it out? And I was like, what do you feel that you get? So I've just directly asked them that. Because I told them, what do you feel that you're getting for that 2 months? And come on, man, give me the answer. What you think she said to that?
I think she said, "I'll see if I get an only playlist, and I'll stay if I get on some, and if I don't, I'll leave."
Yeah. I want more followers on Instagram. I want playlist placements. I want this, that, and the other.
Yep.
My generic reply to that now is just, we work with people a long time because we do. And as you know, in plenty of the conversations that we've been having with our sister distribution companies that we both work for,
We chat about.
and Brett, which super gas and excited about, we got to paint the picture.
Yep.
And Jordan can laugh at that. We've got to paint the picture. And as I said at the start, you know, it can take artists years to paint that picture. But if you come on board with someone like an RGM or whoever it might be that gives that personal touch, that personal flair, but with a monopoly, with a big company like RPM,
yep,
you know, a big company like that, does the door open for everybody?
Yeah, or the opportunities are reserved for the elite group who have an account manager.
Yeah. This
was one of my gripes with working on campaigns with Believe, and with mad respect to the team there. In a weekly meeting, they said, we're going to pitch to playlist. We're going to pitch to playlist. And then they got to the week of the record. We go, oh, we just sent it off the other day, but we're not hopeful we're going to get any replies. And I feel like they're taking equity for a promise they're not even living up to. And then I see someone like yourself where you hammer the importance of relationship building with these playlist companies, or not even companies, curators, should I say. And you talk about being in their top of mind all the time and the kind of sweetening the conversation with new talking points.
But I work with my clients. It's a you and me. Easy T, for example. Okay, yes, we might have helped push the records to editorial using our North American. So RGM, we've got North American teams, we've got like team here in the UK that obviously know all the editorial people. We've got back end servers that we pitch to. We work with Group Speed, which is a fantastic promo company. They just worked on Willow's campaign. So we've got all these people that we work with, but it also boils down to the artist as well. So Izzy went out of her own way. I gave her the contact, but she went out of her way to build relationships with editorial
on
as well.
And am I right in saying that one of the first things beyond the music that the playlist curator looks at is, number one, the story, what are they hoping to do with their career? And number two, what noise are you making on digital platforms like social media?
I will just go back to what I said about creating business. It's the exact same effing formula. You have to build your presence, your revenue, your likability, your fan base, your customer service at a shop. You have to build up all of it. But then the people, there's millions of people working at editorial, and they don't say in their biography, I work with Spotify editorial.
Of course. Because they get harassed.
They say, my name's Dan and I love walking dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what I find interesting is, like, in the radio kind of plugging space, there are some radio plugging companies that do a weekly report. And I recognize it's far too much admin to do, but I respect the hell out of the process. We've pitched to this many people in the last week. Here are the declines that we've had and the reasons why, so you could learn from this for next time. I actually love that process because the artist wouldn't just think I'm putting it out into the ether and seeing who answers. You actually would get some tangible feedback, but I recognize it's not practical to do. When you pitch the playlists, what response do you get if people are saying no, or do they just accept or never apply? What's that kind of vibe?
You don't really get a response. I think I've got one response. The responses you will get will be from the internal team. So from like the team I work with, Group Speed, they're like the internal kind of editorial pitching, like one part of it. They might message us and say, "Hi Ryan, we've got one of these." But I think again, I think we're talking from a lower or mid card artist. I think when it comes to pedigree artists, the game's going to be completely different.
Sure.
And that, because there's going to be way more communication. There's going to be opportunities that mid artists don't see. For example, being on the front, like you can apply if you're pedigree artist, high class artist, you've got enough going for you. You can apply to be on the front covers of Spotify editorial picture things, and Apple, and all these special things that all these DSPs do. Which obviously there will be full-on conversations about that. When it won't just be just suddenly appear on these things. There'll be conversations, marketing plans in place, all these types of things. But yeah, when it comes to mid-card artists and lower artists, within our dashboards, there is an editorial section that says what playlists you've got on editorial playlists you get. And obviously, as everyone knows, Spotify will send you a notification to say when you've got an editorial play. But again, it's just about constantly continuing to paint that picture. And with pitching, it's not just about writing a sentence. Like I see online all the time that it gets to the point where artists just start writing jokes because they don't think that it's getting seen by anyone. When pitching to Spotify or whoever, they want to see a clear-cut plan of what is going to be happening over the next 12 months. I've worked within the major crowd. I've worked with artists on the major label world.
Yep.
And you might know this, but there's stuff called an impact day. Right. And the way that they pitch to editorial is that they get everything in place before they even submit this record. Let's just go with Izzy, for example. Let's say Izzy was a massive artist, right? And she's finished this album, right? Okay, so she made this wicked album. You'll sit down with 10 people in this boardroom, right? And it would be like, right, what are the singles going to be? Well, okay, cool. These are the 3 singles that we've chosen. Okay, what's the release date going to be? So let's start backwards, right? Okay, release date's going to be. Let's say the release date's going to be 1st of January, just for
yep,
awful release date. Don't ever do that.
Terrible.
Christmas. I think that's another topic. Christmas time, distribution in that time it's shut off time. Anyways, let's just say 1st of January, right? Album's coming out 1st of January. So we know the album's coming out 1st of January. Now you've got to work back. Okay, what's going to be single 1? What's going to be single 2? What's going to be single 3? Let's map this out. Okay, cool. So we've mapped those out. We know when those singles. Great. Now you want to go and find premieres, radio premieres, around those dates. Okay? And you start adding stuff to this calendar. Right, wicked. We've got Daniel P. Carter premiering this record on a week before the first single. The same in the second, same in the third. You then employ a marketing company to try and get you more things.
Yep.
Okay. Really, like this, whatever. That's all now secured, right? let's get this secured, let's sign it off. You then put the record out on DSPs, and you've got this long amount of time to go and now pitch to editorials and say to editorials, hi there, X, Y, Z, Impact Day.
Banging. That tells me why you and I are friends. That tells me why you and I work together, because I do the literal exact same process. Work from the end destination back towards the present and fill in the gaps. Yep. I think, again, because you and I have both worked at major labels, we understand that process of how they think. And let me ask you this, bro. So when you've communicated certain release dates to editorial, I bet they hate it when you push things back. When you said that original date, I told you I need an extra 2 weeks. Can you I'm moving my record, so can you move me in the playlist? Do they hate that shit?
I think they understand one. Do you know what I mean? I think they understand one but I just think it's bad business.
Yes.
And I think I like him because, I just think the distributor looked bad as well. So I think I just think it's people don't like things when they change, but I understand that they change. But if they change so much that it's just starting to be silly.
Yo, I know we just mentioned ads a moment ago, so I want to tell you about one of my favorite partners that I work with for running Instagram, YouTube, TikTok ads, creating pre-save links and fan data capture websites and so much more. It's called SymphonyOS. It's one of the most powerful AI tools in my arsenal as a creator. SymphonyOS is my preferred choice of tool. If I'm working with a client and running their ads, it's through SymphonyOS rather than directly through Facebook Ads Manager. The power is insane. I want you to try it out for yourself. You can get started on a free account using my link, which is symphonyos.co/all about helping. There's a little bit of code in that URL, so make sure you click the link in the description below. They've recently released their tables about their number 1 Symphony referrers, and I was number 3 out of the top 10. And so first of all, I want you to help me get to number 1, because I'd love to be their number 1 GOAT in the world. But also the value that it's going to help you within your music career is second to none. So make sure you give SymphonyOS a try today. Fully aligned. The thing I can never understand is if they push it back to promote it more. Because you can always, at the end of campaign B, go back and promote campaign A. Like, unless you're using those extra 2 weeks, for example, to film a ton more content, if you're just buying yourself a breather, it's doing detriment to your campaign. Like, you should have already, hopefully, have made the content for the second single before you get 2 weeks out from the second single.
And bro, what difference is it? Like, what? Like, I suppose you could say it from the two perspectives, but what difference is it going to make pushing it back? Like, if you're just, no offense, like, nobody, it doesn't make any difference. It doesn't make any difference.
I think it's ego. I think it's what an artist owns social media will think if they promote a new record and the other record hasn't done any numbers. I think it's all about the psychology of like, I need to look a certain way before I make my next move, or I'll look foolish for moving on until I've reached a minimum standard for myself.
Yeah.
Do you see where I'm coming from?
I do. Absolutely. One of my favorite campaigns this year that we've done is Bear Jams. They're so good. Bear Jams is like this, like reggae, poppy, very like surfy band. They gave me that album a year in advance. Done.
Wow.
So good. And it comes out on the 6th of September.
And they didn't want to rush it. And then how many singles did they drop?
They dropped 4 singles. It's perfect. They gave me the album like a year in advance. They said, Ryan, this is single 1, single 2, single 3, single 4. These are the release dates. It was heaven.
And they thought about it all, and they got their ducks in a row to do that and execute to a high standard.
It was heaven. Like, unfortunately, they didn't have the money to put into marketing, but we've done everything we can to to push it to editorial. We've got their records on like so many venues and stores around the world, which is so important because I personally believe written marketing is dying. I believe that people need to hear the music.
Yep.
The amount of time to get out my phone and I Shazam something, sure. All the time. So we got their records in stores. We pitched it properly to editorial. We spoke to sync companies. They just gave me everything that I needed. Instrumentals, blah, 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 blah. It was the perfect campaign. If every single campaign could be like that, forward, thank you, that'd be great.
Yeah. And that just speaks to the power of preparation. Like if you actually get it all done early so that you can use it later on. Like,
so for me, like the reason why I created RGM is because I was an artist. So I literally chased my tail all the time. I had this one record, went on Channel AKA. It was like being played every day. Didn't know what PRS was, didn't know what PPL was. Missed out on tons of money. But I kept chasing my tail. I was like, oh, no, I have to go to studio now. I'm spending loads of money. I was doing this London producer. Spending loads of money on music video. Drop it like a week. Like it was just chaos.
Chaos.
And I was like, why, man? Like, chill. Just hindsight's 2020.
But
you know what I mean?
again, you did a lot of that to yourself, or the brainwashing of this community in the industry did that to you? And I think now the way you and I both think is like, how can we put this out and use it as a stepping stone to the next, bigger stepping stone to the next, and then your big project. Streaming is not going to make you a crazy amount of money, but all the ancillary revenue streams will. So like a sync, like a headline show, or like a cross-country tour, or like a publishing in a game or something like that. Because I think for me, my mission has changed. My mission originally was for no artist to feel depressed, anxious, and confused like I was, right? And that only takes you to a baseline, but you still end up broke. And now my mission is to help artists monetize their music and turn it into a business, right? And I think how I've evolved in my thinking, artists need to evolve and stop looking as I'll drop a song to be popular. Now it's I'll drop a song to buy back my time from my day job so I can work on more music. And that's what I'm excited about. You, me, and our other partners, Jordan King and Angelo, building our own distribution company that includes your services, my services, all the A&R experience, all the business experience, venture capital where appropriate, and putting together a new way of releasing music. And do you want to drop the news? Should we drop it together? Like, how are we working together now?
Yeah, bro. So it's just so cool to be on this podcast with you as well, bro. Man, I was a massive fan of yours.
Bless you. Before we even met, we were fanboying over each other. I remember this.
Yeah. But I think, stars align, don't they? And, I started my own distro company and then Jordan. I've been a fan of Jordan.
Been my boy for years. Yeah.
Day one. I think I was even trying to work records for him back in the day. But nothing kit. But, he came to me with this idea of starting R&B. So if anyone knows about R&B, that was a big kind of blogging platform back in the day, wasn't it? And it was, mate, the affiliates with R&B were top R&B, and still is now. And so we're creating R&B distribution, and absolutely phenomenal. Right now specializing in R&B music in the UK, and then also Motherland Global, which is kind of like the main company.
But again, British R&B is so widespread. That includes jazz, that includes soul, that includes like almost that neo or soul-y rap that's coming out. I think not just your traditional R&B. And what to me is exciting, again, not tooting my own horn, is I can't think of any other distro that gives you a social media strategy for every artist that releases on them. And if you're a mid-tier artist, you get a playbook, you get access to group resources. If you're a pedigree artist, you get me personally, just like you'd get Ryan personally, to map out your campaign throughout the process and then run the ads for the artist. What I find often is you get an account manager who does stuff for you. And the reason I never call myself an agency, I call myself a coach, because I make you better for yourself. All the artists I work with, I look at them now, I'm just so flippin' proud because they've unlocked something within themselves that was always there, but they have this fire burning that you cannot put out ever again. And I know that's my intensity. I know I'm an intense person, right? But when I see it in others, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm proud of you guys. Yeah, man. And I want that for the world. Like, whether you're with us on our Brit distribution, Motherland distribution, whether you're all about helping client or fan or subscriber, like whether you're distributed through RGM, I want everyone to feel like a smart artist. Absolutely. Like you learn the game and you have the resources to play the game and win. Because bro, the system's rigged. Otherwise, system is rigged unless you learn the rules of the game and then learn how to win the game.
Yeah. And I think that's where the game's changing. The game is changing. I can feel this like shift. I think it's just more people come to RGM, Motherland, Brit for a personal service. They come knowing that they are actually going to be. Thanks. Come on. Imagine having this legend. Right.
And this legend.
Like, honestly, he knows so much about social media marketing, content. That is like what distribution company has that? Has him.
Again, I'm excited. The way I visualize this going, honestly, I see us just all living our purpose, just fulfilling our true dreams, and even surprising ourselves how scary life could become in a positive way.
Yeah.
Because it'll be some of the UK's best R&B artists, R&B artists, should I say, in one place, in one little family, and eventually, how it always happens, I don't know, you probably had this too, your artists start working with each other. I love it when my coaching clients become best friends, become flatmates, become on each other's albums, on each other's radio shows. There's just such power in community. And when there's a hub of UK R&B talent, I bet you they're going to start featuring on each other's albums, doing collab projects together. The future's bright, man. I swear.
And this is what I mean by doors opening. Like, yes. And doors open when you're aligned with RGM or whoever it might be within the circle or outside the circle. Mate, if anyone's got questions or anything or wants help with anything, just DM me. Like, I'm a human being. I am here to help. My business is here to literally help. I helped Jordan. Do you know what I mean? He came to me and was like, "I want a distribution company." I'm like, "Come on, are you serious?" Yeah, I'm serious. This is the idea. Blah 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 blah. 1, 2, 3, done.
Shout out to him. That's my brother. He had these ideas 3 years ago and they manifest now in the present. But it's like that longevity to be patient and just say, I've got this idea, I've got the music, but I want all of these dots connected before I make my move. And that takes resilience and patience, man. So yeah, where can people connect with you if they want to find out more info? Where can they just ask you questions? Plug your socials, plug your website, please, my bro.
Yes, it's We Are RGM. We Are RGM. We Are RGM.com. Literally on all of it.
Love, bro. Thank you again so much for being on the pod. I appreciate you greatly, bro. As my brother, as my friend, as my business partner. It's real, man.
Yes, brother. Hey.